Okay, so here's what went wrong for Liverpool last week. It wasn't so much that Southampton was so defensive. To me, it was a lineup mistake by Jurgen Klopp starting Wijnaldum and not another forward. Because whether it's the way Klopp drew it up on the blackboard or not, this is the way Liverpool have lined up this season when they've been at their best. 3 in the front and 3 in the midfield. But the different thing about this year's midfield is that Adam Lallana has been most productive. And maybe Klopp would explain the lineup like this, but really, Lallana has been so violently aggressive going forward that he has taken the spot at the head of the midfield. So when they take the field, it looks more like this. So really, this attacking midfielder has interchanged with these 3 forwards up front, and it's become a front 4 that's worked together between the lines. And it was really important that there was 4. That was what was making it so hard for their opponents, that when even a team was looking to defend, the interchange and the fact that there were 4 attackers hovering around the goal, smelling blood, it was very hard for anyone to deal with, even if they were just sitting at the back. So this has been their prototypical lineup that has worked. Henderson and then either Wijnaldum or Chan would focus more on covering defensively. If they came forward and helped, it was cool, but these were the 4. Now, Lallana was down for this game, so I've seen Klopp use Coutinho here at least twice this season, once in the middle of a game when Lallana was taken off, and another he started and played that role for an entire match. So I expected him to play there. And they have Origi and Sturridge, who can play up front in Coutinho's position. And I mention them both because this is not in any way a campaign to say that Sturridge should have started over Wijnaldum. But some forward should have started instead of Wijnaldum. So instead, this is what ended up happening. 3 midfielders and 3 forwards. That extra dynamic of having the 4th guy wasn't there. And no one in the midfield 3 was really strong enough at connecting this bridge between the midfield and the forwards. So this is what ended up happening. There was a moment around the 23rd minute when I realized this. At that point, it became apparent that no one was able to get the ball to the forwards. And Philippe Coutinho took it upon himself to come back to the ball and then try to find a forward player himself. So with the natural interchange that happens when players move around and spaces open up on the field, Wijnaldum went forward and took Coutinho's spot up top. So he received a pass that he almost wrangled in and made something out of, but he didn't. And that moment made me really angry. Wijnaldum in the box, sorry, that should have been Sturridge. That's not who should have been in that position. It should have been Sturridge. He's still our most lethal goal scorer. So I personally would attribute Liverpool losing 2 points last weekend to Jurgen Klopp and changing his formation. Maybe he wanted to reward Wijnaldum for playing well off the bench in recent matches to start with Lallana out, but I think it cost them. The best chance they had to continue the momentum they had was if they played the same formation, and if not Sturridge, then Origi should have started. That's all I've got to say about that. And all that being said, we still had a good chance to win the game. Let's see what happens today against Sunderland. This should be an easy win at home. In 90 minutes, they should be able to score enough to cover any mistakes they make if they give up a goal. Sunderland's a scrappy team, though. They're always in a relegation fight, so it might not be so easy. But one more thing before the game starts, and more importantly, Steven Gerrard, we bid thee farewell, Captain. May your presence and your memory live on forever, and I am sure they will. It's what made us stronger, and Liverpool will always be stronger for it. You lifted this team and the hearts of everyone who supported them. And on a personal note, I watched football before the Istanbul final, but that was the night that I fell in love with the sport. And until the very end of his career, I always had faith in our Captain Fantastic. I remember tapping into some weird pirate signal on the internet for the '06 FA Cup final because there was just no way we could watch it here in the States. And when I tuned in, there was like 5 minutes left and we were down a goal. And I just had no doubt in my mind that Gerrard would get us this goal. And we just had to get the ball to him somewhere outside the box, and it did fall to him, and we all know what happened, but it was almost like I believed in magic. And I believed in him until the very end. Living in Los Angeles, it was a true treat to see him come to LA Galaxy, and although his body slowed down and he didn't have the same power in those legs, for some reason, I always thought he was going to come through for us. Just put Gerrard in. But Father Time catches up to us all. He gave us his all, and he played pretty well, in my opinion. And the team fought until the very end in that game in Colorado in extreme heat and altitude. But in the end, it was not to be. Stevie G, I would just say that with all my heart, I appreciated every moment of it. That's all we have for this show. Hopefully, we can expect some cool things here at Kahan TV Studios. I would like to thank Jimmy and Ahmad for holding down the fort while I was gone. We're all gearing up for Liverpool and Sunderland tonight and another round of entertaining Premier League action. I hope everyone has fun. We will see you later.